Hi everyone, and welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for joining me today. Great to have you with me. Today's pick a card reading question is, how do they feel about you? So we'll have a look at how they feel and how they think. What's their experience of being with you? And how do you think and feel about them? Where's it all going between the two of you? Is there a forward direction that's actually going to be healthy with an outcome that gives you both what you want? Now, before we get started, if you would like to go down below and hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. It would be great to get me out there far and wide. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Now, just importantly to remember that today is a general reading. So take away what resonates and leave behind anything that doesn't. Now, before you on the screen, we have 5 different cards, and the idea is to choose a card that has a strong resonance for you, and that will be your reading. Now, card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, and card 5 are here before you. And I like to do a quick deep breath exercise just to get you in the mood to make a choice. So feet firmly on the ground, and taking in a nice deep breath. And as you let go of that breath, just releasing any tension that you might be holding from within. Drawing your attention back to the screen before you. Which of these cards has the strongest resonance for you? Is it card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, or card 5? So down below there are 5 different timestamps representing each of these cards. If you would like to go to the card that you chose, I'll be with you in a moment. Hi everyone, this is card number 1 and welcome to your reading. So the question today is, how do they feel about you? So we want to know what's going on many different levels, and we're going to explore that now by just jumping straight in at the deep end, really. And I'm drawn straight down here to the Hanged Man and the Knight of Swords. I feel like you have hit a wall, yeah? Somebody's pulled the rug out from underneath you in a way where it's stopped you short from being able to achieve a really important goal. I think this is something that you'd been contemplating or fostering for a really long time, and it really lays at the heart of something that is very important, in as much as I think this is like a life goal. I think that you've also saved a lot about yourself and what you're doing in your life to actually get to this particular point. Like, you've actually generated a lot of focus in a way where I think you've drawn resources to reach this particular goal. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're not able to reach that because something's been put in front of you, or something stopped you from doing, you know, getting to where you want to be. And I think that that's caused a lot of anger and a lot of frustration. I don't think you're the type of person that is sort of freely, you know, able to freely express how you really think and feel. I think you keep things to yourself. There's a tendency to bottle things up, and I think at times the pressure can get really quite intense. And if there's no outlet, I think the lid can blow for you. And there's a tendency maybe to lash out, which would be understandable. But there's certainly, you know, like an idea of keeping things to yourself. I think in terms of the connection with this person, it's really left you to question where things are going as a rule, you know, given the outcome. Now, if I come up here to the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, I feel these 2 cards reflect the other person in a very constructive way. I think up until this point, they've been very focused on finances. You know, there's a real sort of aspirational quality here, somebody who really wants to get ahead financially. I think this is somebody who likes the nice things in life. They certainly like a bit of luxury, a bit of padding, a bit of security, which a lot of people do. But this is somebody who wants to have more than enough. They want to live a comfortable life. And the Queen of Pentacles is a very intelligent card around money. He knows how to strategically generate outcomes that really give you money, but it's also a card that points towards nurturing. The Queen of Pentacles is a card that likes to save money to nurture its family in a way that gives them what they need, not just financially, but also something that they can maybe pass on to their children. The Empress is a card of fertility. It's a motherhood card. It's also a card of productivity. So I think this person's been very productively focused on finance, but at the same time, very productively focused on the idea of getting everything into place to have kids. You know, a breeding ground, a nurturing ground, a nesting place, if you will. But all of a sudden, I come over here to the Moon and the Five of Pentacles, and, you know, it's like a bomb's gone off. This person has just completely lost their confidence about where everything is going on all of those levels. I think the primary focus is about money. I think they feel very worried about what's up ahead, that things aren't going to be prosperous, that there isn't going to be enough to provide the basic security, let alone the security for family, having kids. I also wondered whether this person had lost something. Maybe they've lost their job. Five of Pentacles is a card of being out on your ear, not having what you need. You know, it's about unemployment. It's about a lack of security or having the resources that you need in order to be able to thrive. And the Moon is a very uneasy card. It's quite a depressive energy. I get a sense maybe this person has hit a bit of a pothole in terms of going into a darker place as far as how they're thinking and feeling. Maybe they've gone into a state of depression. But it's also a card of instincts, feeling really worried about what's up ahead. They've lost confidence. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And they just don't know which way is up at the moment. So for them, there's just no constructive focus in terms of taking anything forward. If I come over here to the Nine of Swords, I feel that this card reflects, you know, expands on your position really. And I think you're very worried about everything. I think there's a lot of anxiety there. I think you're not able to really get a constructive grab on how things are moving or what direction they're moving in. Everything feels quite ominous. There's a lot of fear there as well. I think this has pressed a lot of buttons for you in the worst possible way. You know, because I think it's about what was important to you at a personal level. Maybe this is about having kids, but it's also about the relationship as well, and maybe the confidence in this person, because all of a sudden they're making a lot of different sounds. Everything seems so focused, so constructive up until this point, and now they've lost confidence, and you're just completely reeling from the experience in a way where I think there's a lot of sleepless nights there, a lot of unease for you. More importantly, if I come down here to win or lose, I think because of the type of person that you are, you have a tendency to get quite frustrated and you can get angry. This is very much also about drawing a line in the sand for you. And the Hangman highlights that. You know, the Hangman is about stopping, drawing a line, not moving forward, focusing on, and the Knight of Swords is a card of mental focus, but it's about conflict. So you're very focused on the conflict as to the fact that things aren't moving forwards. And win or lose is really, it's a card that arises with disagreements, where there's a battle of the wills. So I think that both of you have kind of come to a bit of a loggerheads, more so for you. I think that maybe you're serving an ultimatum in some ways. What's really important here is to remember that anger and frustration is not the answer. You've got to let your love guide you through this. It's not about winning a fight. It's really about the love of the situation. You know, it's time to find some middle ground here. You know, you're both at extreme ends at the moment. This person just doesn't know where things are going. They've lost confidence. You're reeling in a way where you're feeling sold short of what it is that you maybe had been promised or where you thought things were going. But the two of you are where you are for different types of reasons. I think it's time to find some middle ground and to make some compromises. Most importantly, let's just jump straight to some outcomes here before we get into too much advice about how things should be handled, because I think that the outcome is actually really positive. This person, look, can I just say that this person really loves you? You know, the Queen of Pentacles, it's not just about nurturing, you know, a financial and material framework to have kids. It's also about thinking about other people in a way where they care very solidly to give you everything that you need so that you have security, that you have happiness, so that you can thrive as a person. And that's how they feel about you. And they're prepared to do whatever it takes to make that happen. It's paired with the Empress, and the Empress is all about productivity, making things happen. But the outcome here for me, it's the Lovers and the Ten of Cups. The Lovers is about intimate relationships and love. The fact is, you both have a bond here that you share, a very loving one. But the Lovers is also about a card of choices. It's about making decisions. Ten of Cups is high vibrational, emotional energy. It's about joy. It's about fulfillment in terms of the idea of family, okay? So it's about making choices to have a family. I feel that this person will get through this tough experience. They've hit a ditch, a pothole, a dark point on their journey where they can't see the wood for the trees. They don't know which way is up. But there's no two ways about it. This person really does love you. They're going to pull through this experience, refocus on you in a way where it'll give you the confidence once again that they do feel that they love you, but also they want to give you what it is that's really important to you. And I feel that a big part of what that means is having kids, okay? Down here to regeneration. This is about second chances, new opportunities. The both of you are going on this journey together and you've hit this really difficult challenge, but this is going to strengthen your relationship in a way that you can't define just at the moment, okay? Whatever you perceive as a failure or loss, okay, that's going to be replaced by something better and much more powerful, okay? Something much more powerful will come up in its place. Love is rising up through this experience, through this experience, no matter how challenging it really feels at this time. I think what's really important for you in terms of your process and how it is that you can meet this person halfway is about making compromises, not drawing a line in the sand, not acting out of anger and frustration. Get back to base. Get back to base in terms of your heartfelt place. Don't make this about winning or losing an argument, okay? Compassion is needed here for this person because they're going through a really difficult time. And they need some support to get through it in a way that really prioritizes what will constructively help them through this really tough time. And once they're back into balance, they will be at the ready to give you everything it is that you could possibly want because they love you. So I hope this reading has made some sense. And if it has, please leave some feedback down below. It'd be great to get your comments. Like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that are already posted. And keep an eye out for those on the horizon. I do them every week, so new releases right up ahead. Take care, guys. Thanks very much. Hi everyone, this is card 2 and welcome to your reading. So cards are out here before us and we're ready to go. And the first thing that I'm drawn to is over here to the Star and the 8 of Cups. I feel the other person that is in connection with you has felt a need perhaps to have a bit of space, to take some time out maybe. Maybe they're just wanting to do their own thing for a while. Even a bit of a sabbatical for some of you. Maybe this person wants to take a trip or go away for a while and just have a bit of a breather. I get a sense that they just want to expand on their experience in a way where they're not feeling that they're actually getting everything that they want directly from the relationship or the connection with you. Now, if I come down here to the Hermit and the 2 of Cups, I feel the two of you have been in a fairly long-term relationship. I feel that this is a number of years. There's been a long-standing connection between the two of you. I feel the two of you have a very strong bond. For some of you, it might even go back to sort of childhood or your school years. I feel there's a long history here, quite a complex one, where the both of you have really been on a journey together. I think this has been quite a spiritual experience. For some of you, maybe this is even like the flavor of like a childhood sweetheart. Just a really strong bond, very long lasting, very deep, very spiritual, very connected. Healing really comes up in this as well. I feel like the two of you have actually had a lot of experiences to share that have helped each other through on your journeys, both independently and as a couple. But I think that this idea of this person wanting maybe to have some space has really confronted you. There's a feeling that perhaps there is some codependency here, that the two of you have spent a lot of time together over a long period of time where it feels overly focused on each other or on the idea of the relationship at the exclusion of what is going on externally to the relationship. So the experiences have very much primarily been on the both of you. Now, coming over here to Darkest Fears, this card is about the idea of a relationship that's not going according to plans. And then it really sort of begins to sort of take hold where you lose yourself in worry and doubt as to what it is that's actually going on. I think that if you have been in a long-term relationship and that you are perhaps a little bit codependent, then the idea of the other person wanting to have some space could be really confronting. But it asks you not to let your anxieties paralyze you with fear, because then you become inactive, debilitated by the idea of something that isn't clear. That's what fear is all about. It's about the darkness of something because you can't see the light. So it's really important to identify what the anxiety and the fear is here. Okay, what is that? Is it a fear that you're going to lose this person? Is it a fear that you're going to miss out on something? Is it a fear that, or is it a fear that perhaps you might feel a little bit the same? Maybe this is confronting you in a way where, you're having to look at what's going on in a mirrored effect. Now, if I come over here to soulmates, I get a sense, both from the Hermit and the Two of Cups here, these are really sort of powerful cards. The Hermit's very much a self-reflective card. It's historical in that it looks back over time. There's also a real sense of past lives here. The Two of Cups is a card of relationships. It's also a card of healing. And it's a very spiritualized card. So my sense is the bond here is very strong and there is a real soulmate. And what is a soulmate? A soulmate is an important relationship that comes to you in a lifetime or many lifetimes that helps you to work through things that you need to heal on. It helps you to make changes for the better. It helps you to learn. And in particular, it really is about sort of liberating old patterns that need to have light shed on them in a way where you can see that these patterns and behaviors don't really serve you so well anymore. And perhaps this idea of codependency is one where you are really needing to look at the idea of becoming more independent. And I feel that perhaps this is what's mirroring to you with this other person, is that they're feeling a sense of restriction, a sense of needing to have different experiences that give them different types of fulfillment. The Star is all about hopes and dreams and goals and aims. The Eight of Cups is a card of, it's a card that is really depicting a journey, looking for something more to give you a different type of experience in terms of your emotional fulfillment. And they tie, both of these cards, the Hermit and the Eight of Cups, tie in very snugly to each other in terms of the idea of a journey, a spiritualized journey of growing and evolving, which also ties in with the idea of a soulmate. Coming over here to the World and the Three of Pentacles, I feel the two of you have actually made some really amazing progress in terms of building a really solid foundation. I think perhaps this has come as a bit of a shock to you in a way where things were building very solidly towards taking it to the next level, maybe in terms of the commitment, but also perhaps in terms of the acquisition of material and financial resources, putting money in the bank, maybe looking at putting down a deposit on a house or a flat, or just, you know, putting money away in the bank and really solidly sort of building, you know, the material and financial aspects of you know, the foundation of your world. The world is a card of success and fulfillment. Three of Pentacles is a card of building foundations. You know, this relationship's had a really solid base. And I think the two of you up to this particular point were thinking about what the next step is. Perhaps other people have been asking, what's going on? You know, where's it all heading? Your relationship looks really healthy. You know, are you getting married? Are you buying a house? Are you having kids? You know, what's the next step? Maybe there's been even a little bit of pressure there from friends and family, you know, expectations as to what it is that's going to happen next. But in any case, I think that, you know, things have been really solid up until this point, and then all of a sudden this person wants to have some different experiences that become, you know, I guess that actually articulate quite a confronting response to what has been going on in the lead up to here. And given your history together, the sense that you've both been together in a very intensive way, I think that actually stokes some fire in terms of, you know, fear arising out of a worst case scenario in your mind. I think also for you, you know, you've always wanted to have a really long lasting relationship. I think for you, it's, you know, it's about being with the one that you love. It's about that soulmate experience of wanting to pair to somebody who gives you a deeper spiritual fulfillment and journey in as a couple. And I do think that you know, if I come over here to spread your wings, this is all about expansion energy, okay? And expansion energy is very much around you, both in terms of the idea of this partner, yeah, this connection, this relationship, that person wanting to perhaps move on and have some more creative, free-flowing experiences that are more independently based. But also, I think for you, I think this has been a confronting experience because part of you feels that this is a little bit limiting, that, you know, things have been a little bit confined, a little bit restricted, and a little bit codependent. But maybe you're needing to figure out what that means. You know, maybe you haven't learnt the skills that you need to stand on your own 2 feet in a way that give you confidence that you can actually lead a healthy life, independent life within the relationship, okay? So rather than embracing that in a constructive way, the first reaction is fear because you're fearing that you might lose the other person. But deep down, I think you both really are very much on the same page. And this card, Spread Your Wings, it asks you really to look at what it will take for you to feel unrestricted, okay? It asks you to make changes, any changes that are going on in your life in this context with love and compassion, not out of spite, not out of fear, not out of anxiety. You know, because essentially what it's really saying is that your mind and your body and your soul are ready to soar. You know, the relationship in its current context is too restrictive. It's pulling things back. It's not giving you the creative spiritual experiences that you need to live out beyond the confines of the relationship. There are other things here for you to explore. It's not just about the nuts and bolts of this relationship or the idea of a soulmate, okay? What's this other person feeling? This person loves you to pieces. This person isn't leaving. This person's not going anywhere. Coming over here to the Lovers and the Knight of Cups. I mean, this is a really beautiful set of cards. The Lovers, intimate relationships, making choices, making decisions. It's about love. It's about intimacy. The Knight of Cups is your knight in shining armor. Yeah, it's love articulated in a way where it's mobilized. This person has or is in the process of making a decision that they are completely committed to you. They love you. They want to be with you. They're open to you in you know, at a heartfelt level. You know, I don't see that anything that they are doing is taking them in a direction that is about leaving you, fulfilling your worst fears, doing anything in spite of you, doing anything that would jeopardize this connection in a way that would leave you hanging on your own, okay? So I think what's really important here is that for me, I see the outcome has been a really positive one where this person is still very much moving forward in the direction of making this relationship a success. They love you. They want to continue on this particular path, but at the moment they need some space. And the reality is, I feel that you need some space too. I think that probably more so, I think you need to step outside of the confines, the restrictions of this particular dynamic in a way where it really becomes about you and what you want to achieve outside of this relationship. Because at the moment, it's all about the two of you. It's all about the two of you in a slightly unhealthy way, in a codependent way. And you need to break free from that. But you need to get over the fears, the worries about what's going to happen, okay? Soulmate, this is a really, again, I just want to touch on this card again because it really does highlight the fact that this is a journey where you're teaching each other. This person is, what's happening with this person is not, it's not a response to you to upset you. It's a spiritual channel. You know, this person is a soulmate, and that means that this is a spiritual channel to reflect what you need to learn in this particular process, yeah, as a part of your journey together. This person is reflecting to you. It's time to expand, yeah, move beyond the confines of the relationship, spread your wings, okay? So I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Like and share this video where you can. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an eye out for those on the horizon over the coming weeks. Thank you. Take care. Hi everyone, this is card number 3, and today's question is, how do they feel about you? And we have the cards on the table. Welcome to your reading. So let's jump straight in at the deep end and have a look and see what's going on. And I'm drawn here to the Devil and the Queen of Swords. And I feel that for you, I get a sense of hurt here, that you also don't trust this person. And I feel that you've actually broken away from them. I'm questioning whether this is a relationship, or it could also be a friendship, or somebody who you know at work, or a family. It really could be anybody, but the Devil does imply intimate relationships. So, you know, I'd like to keep it quite broad. For me, the sort of focal point in terms of where you're at this point in time is just really dealing with hurt. There's a sense of your trust being broken. And I get a feeling that this person's really hurt you, maybe even angered you. The Devil is about relationships, can be about intimate relationships, but they're very difficult relationships and they have lots of limitations on them. And the Queen of Swords is a card of perspective. It's about looking at what's going on from a very broad overview, but it's based on hurt and suffering and sorrow. And I just get a sense that you haven't been able to let that go, and that you're really still trying to question whether you were right or whether you were wrong, perhaps. Because it's a very reflective process. The Queen of Swords is looking at both sides of the coin. But if I come over here to the Four of Swords, the Four of Swords sort of expands on this idea of contemplation and meditation based on what it is that's actually happened in the past, trying to get down to the truth of matters in a way where there is process through quiet retreat and thinking things through at an intellectual level. If I come over here to the Magician and the Seven of Wands, I feel that this other person has responded to you in a way where they've just kind of moved on. You know, they picked themselves up, brushed themselves off, and they basically just dealt with the situation in a way that's actually been quite constructive. And perhaps that's been a bit confronting for you. Maybe you were looking for some kind of impact by your actions. Maybe you were hoping that this would get back at them in some way. You know, the Queen of Swords and the Devil, you know, these cards coupled together, the Devil can be vindictive, it can be quite naughty and a bit nasty. The Queen of Swords is very hurt, so there is scope there for you to respond in a way that might be out of spite. But in any case, looking back at where they're at this particular time, I feel this is a self-starter, a really motivated individual, somebody who stands out in the crowd, quite charismatic. There's a really positive, capable energy there. And the Seven of Wands expands on that capability. You know, anything that's thrown at them, they seem to be able to get on top of really quite confidently. In many ways, they've used this as an opportunity to kind of like bounce out into other opportunities that have taken them further. More broadly speaking, it's really kind of, if anything, been a very positive step forward for them in terms of moving on from this particular connection. Now, leading up to this particular point, I'm coming over here to the Star and the Six of Swords. I do feel that right up until this point, you know, the other person has been very much on board with you and trying to move towards, I guess, a place, either as a couple or in your partnership as friends or associates, to get to a point where you're able to sort of more fully resolve the issues that have been experienced between the both of you. And I feel that it has just been one thing after another. It hasn't been clear sailing. The Six of Swords is a card of issues between people and trying to get into calmer waters so that there is a reflective process that can bring clarity to the situation. And the Star is very much a card of hopes and dreams and goals, working our way towards anything that we pin our hopes on. So they've definitely been on board with you in terms of trying to get things to a point where there's resolution and that there's a future together. However, you know, you've responded in a way where you've wanted to take control. And I also question whether there's been somebody else around you or there's been other influences by other people that have had a bit of a negative view on what's going on with this person. Perhaps they've actually gotten in their 2 cents worth. Maybe they see how this other person is, who this other person is in a negative way, and that it might have fed into your insecurities. Because I feel that there is a vulnerability here as to how it is that you feel about this particular person. Trust is really paramount, and I feel that that's been, in your mind, that's actually been betrayed in some way. I also question whether this has been fully articulated by you, or whether you've just acted in a way where you've just wanted to take control of the situation, to close everything down in a way where you are basically not giving any room to really negotiate or to have further discussion on what's been going on. Now, coming over here to Detach, this is a card that's really quite interesting because it's asking for you to look at things in a fair and balanced way, okay? And it also suggests that you really need to prevent the ego from getting in the way of seeing things clearly. Now, it also describes the idea that you need to accept your previous actions and decisions and beliefs that have led to this particular situation. So I do feel that there is some weight there that actually adds into you wanting to take control. I think that you've been the one that's mastered the outcome in terms of forcing a split between you and this other person. I don't think that they've had much of an opportunity to respond in a way that gives them their side of the argument, perhaps. But it does actually give me a sense that, you know, there is a reflective process here with you. And I can see that here with the Four of Swords. You're definitely trying to sift things through. I think you're wanting to get down to the bottom of it. I think you're open to interpretation at this particular point, but you're also on a defensive foot. Loyal Heart, really interesting card, because this really expands on the idea of what the person actually feels about you. You know, this is a card of honesty in terms of devotion. This is a loyal heart and faithfulness. And I really feel that this person is showing that in a way that highlights an honesty. If I come over here to the World and the King of Wands, I feel these two cards really describe the other person's current position. This is somebody who's really noble, very hardworking, very honest in their efforts to achieve some really great things. I think they're very professional in their outlook. I think they're very much, up for challenges in terms of wanting to engage in the world in a way that leaves a mark. But I don't see a dishonest person here. I don't see a spiteful person. I don't see somebody who is trying to be malicious or to sort of undermine other people in a way that will give them leverage. I get a sense that this person really feels that they want to sort of show you who they really are in a way that describes them from their actions more than anything else. They don't have an agenda. I think they just want you to see them as they are. And I'm really struggling to see exactly what it is that they should have done that would actually warrant sort of quite a strong response that cuts them out of the picture in a way where they haven't really got a platform to be able to connect with you. I think that you are taking a defensive position that really is more about not wanting to get hurt. And I am a little concerned also. I wonder whether other people have been influential in terms of the outcome here. But just to give you balance from a perspective of where you're looking at things from, coming back here to Loyal Heart, it does ask you to question whether you're being stubborn or overly tenacious about a particular view or an idea. Maybe you're sticking to your guns here because you feel very right, but also because you want to be in control of the situation. You don't want to be vulnerable. But this is a card that asks you to let go of your old views and your old attachments in a way that really sort of highlights the fact that these are outdated beliefs, okay, or also misplaced loyalties. And that is a really interesting take, because I wondered whether your loyalties to maybe other people and maybe what it is that they've been thinking or feeling or seeing is have been misplaced in a way that has given more weight to a different side of the argument, okay? I feel that as a direction in terms of where things are going between the two of you, that there will be a point in the near future that gives you an opportunity really to both responsibly sit down and lay everything on the table in a way where you get resolution to this fallout, okay? Now, I think that the outcome will be really positive because you'll be able to see through having a dialogue with this person that they are very honest, that they are not doing anything that is trying to take something away from you, to try and hurt you, or to manipulate you in any way. So for me, I think that there is some really strong, I guess, need for reconciliation. Detached, just want to come back here to kind of highlight this idea of really looking at things in balance. Being fair and balanced is really important. I think that you have a process here that you need to go through in terms of sifting things down. I think that you need to look at both sides of the argument, but I think you also need to question external influences and how that has actually had an effect on the outcome in terms of your views on this particular person. I hope this reading has made some sense. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Now, I would also love you to subscribe. Tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that have already been posted and keep an eye out for those on the horizon. They'll be coming out each and every week. Take care. Thanks very much. Hi everyone, this is card 4, and this is your reading. So today's reading question is, how do they feel about you? And we've got the cards on the table, so we're ready just to dive in at the deep end. And I'm drawn straight over here to the Lovers and the Five of Pentacles. And I feel the two of you have hit a bit of a dead end in terms of where things are going. You're not agreeing on something here. You're not seeing eye to eye. I feel like there's been a really important question that's come up between the two of you, a decision that needs to be made, and you're not on the same page. And I feel that you feel that you're being unsupported in this, and as a consequence, for you, you're questioning the direction of the relationship. This is something that's really important to you. It'd give you an enormous amount of security and hope if you were both on the same page, seeing eye to eye on this. And because this other person is not seeing that, or you don't feel that they're heading in the same direction in terms of what it is that you're wanting here, I think you're really kind of at a bit of an ultimatum moment. You know, if you can't support me in this, if you can't give me what it is that I really want, then I don't see a future in this relationship. Over here to the Queen of Cups, I feel you're at a point in your life where you really want something that is beyond the relationship. I think you love this person enormously. I think there's a lot of investment there at an emotional level. I think you really care about this person, and that adds even more gravity to what's going on, because if this doesn't work out for you, it's a huge loss. And it is for the both of you. It's not just one of you. I think the both of you are very much in love with each other. I get that from this reading. There's a lot of ground underneath the two of you. I think this is a very solid foundation in terms of how you feel about each other. Very mature, evolved emotions going on, but lots of love. But I think for you, you have a lot of nurturing energy. For me, this feels like energy that is about rearing children, wanting to have kids. It's not just about that. It's about the idea of where the relationship is going at large. I think you're not wanting just to be in the moment and making it up as you go along. You're looking at the bigger picture, a future together, a future life together, but also the idea of having children is really important to you. Now, over here to the Hangman and the Four of Swords, I feel this other person is really pulled back. They've stopped dead in their tracks, withdrawn into a shell, and they're not communicating at all. They've gone very quiet. They're really thinking things through in a way where they're trying to get a different perspective, maybe looking at it from your perspective, but also looking at a creative, I guess, way or a grab on what it is that they need to do in order to take this forward. This isn't a flaky person. I think they're quite serious at heart. I think deep down they really have listened to what you're saying, and they're trying to figure it out in a way where they maybe want to know what it is that they have to compromise on, or whether they need to make a sacrifice even in order for this to move forward. So, the Hangman is all about making sacrifices. It's about perspective. It's about stopping. And the Four of Swords is a card that's very meditative. It's about meditating on your world, meditating on issues that are at hand, but trying to get to the bottom of them in a truthful way. And so I do feel that this person is prepared to make compromises, but they also don't want to compromise themselves to the point where they lose their own integrity. I think that's really important to this person. So I can see that there's a lot of gravity on both sides of what's going on here. Each of you has a lot to lose if things don't move forward in a way where you can resolve them. The Fool and the Ten of Pentacles, I feel this builds on the character of this person, but also the situation at hand. I think this is a very individualistic person. They've got a very unique point of view on life. I think they like to do things quite differently to everybody else. I think they don't want to be weighted down by too much responsibility. So maybe the idea of having kids at this particular point in time is something that just feels a bit heavy. They're not at a point where they feel they can commit to that just now. The Fool is a card of expression, creative inspiration. I think they have a lot of creative energy. Maybe the idea of settling into the sort of concept of, moving into a more serious dynamic that is about having children and family values, that is something that just kind of sort of is a bit suffocating for them. Maybe they want to do this differently. Maybe the idea is that it's not necessarily that they don't want to do it, but they don't want to conform to those kinds of conservative values that are really about security and giving other people what it is they want in terms of extended family, living up to traditions and, having the peering eyes of your relatives, watching over what it is that you're doing in a way where perhaps, that could be quite suffocating to this particular person. So I can see some opposing dynamics here. I mean, you're very much wanting to take things to the next level in terms of mapping out where it's all going between the two of you, especially in the idea of kids. You're ready to give yourself to something that's just more than just the dynamic of this particular relationship. You both really love each other, but this person is confronted by that, the idea of settling down in the future. They don't want to settle down in the traditional sense. They want to do something that's a little bit more unique, a little bit more different, a road less traveled. But they want freedom. I think freedom is really important to them, and the idea of family and having kids or sort of integrating into a wider family sort of or community, I guess traditional values concept is something that scares them really. Coming down here to control, I think you're a very focused person who really is very driven to get what you want once you've made your mind up on it. I think that you really know how to achieve results. You're very clear in your process. You're very fixed on goals and achieving them once you know what it is that you want. You have a lot of self-discipline there, a lot of self-control, and there's a lot of manifestation energy in you as well. I think here with the Queen of Cups, there's no doubt about the idea of sort of nurturing something to life is very strong within you. I think you know how to love things and heal things and bring things to life in a way where you're just very compassionate, very sympathetic, very, very, very there's a lot of empathy there, and that really does give a lot of growth to whatever it is that you focus on. But control sort of really builds on that in a way where it sort of asks you to really be sure that your influence is also gentle and loving. And in the context of what I'm seeing here at the moment with this other person, I think maybe that's missing the mark a little bit because you're serving up ultimatums that are very black and white. And I think it's because the issue is really important to you, and you feel unsupported. I think that you're a little bit alienated with how this person's responded. Maybe they're not, for you, you don't feel that they're taking this seriously, in a way that sort of shows dedication to the future of what you both can unfold. And that's very understandable, because I completely get that. But at the same time, I think it's important just to kind of pull the energy back, because relationships are organic. And if you kind of take that rigid stance, it is going to make things black and white in a way where the relationship may not fit into that particular box. So you'd be cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's very important with this card to really accept another person's uniqueness. It might not fall in line with your your more rigid ideas about what is supposed to happen, but it's important to be flexible. Essentially, control is asking you to be flexible and a little bit patient, okay? Building on that, if we come over here to breathe, the essence of breathe is to be patient in all things, okay? Especially right now. It's about stopping and smelling the roses. What do you actually have here in the connection with this person? You have an enormous amount of love that you share with each other. That's the touchstone of this particular connection, which is more than 99.9% of people will actually have in a relationship. Breathe is asking you to really don't be in so much of a hurry to get outcomes at this point in time. There is an organic process here. It doesn't need to be black and white. You don't need to be controlling the outcomes at this point in time. What you really need to be doing is building on the love that you have with each other and actually coming from a place that is listening to each other and making compromises. There is no one single person that can actually change to another person's desires. We're all different, we're all unique, and we all have different components that make up make a whole, but which also give us, individuality. And a part of what you're needing to do here is to accept that this person doesn't want to be restricted and conformed by the idea of maybe a family just now, but more importantly, it's about what that means for the future. Making a compromise and understanding that they're coming from a creative and inspirational place is really important. And if you have the love for that person, which you do, then you'll understand that that's really important to them. But also equally, the other person needs to understand that this is very important to you. But I think framing it in a way where it's an ultimatum is not the way to get the best possible outcome. I think that it's important to be gentle in the way that you're trying to influence this person, loving in the way that you're trying to influence this person, accepting of their uniqueness, allowing them just to tap into you at a heartfelt level to understand that this is a really important set of, I guess agenda for you in a way, because you're not just looking at one particular point, you're looking at the whole picture. You're looking much further down the road than perhaps they are at the moment. They're very much in the moment. You're looking at the bigger picture. And it's important to get to a compromise where you begin to unfold this connection in a way that maps out a nearer future to sort of the medium and long-term future. But you both need to be on the same page in terms of coming from a loving place. And if you start serving up ultimatums and trying to control the outcomes, then you are going to reach that dead end, because you're not going to be able to help this person to be able to, compromise in a way that they still feel that they have their integrity. As an outcome, I feel that this has a really positive direction. I think that this person will come back to you in a way where they will support you in what it is that you want. The Sun, it's a card of positivity, love, happiness, but it's also a card of children. The King of Cups is expressive of this person, is the King of Hearts. This is somebody who's very invested with you at an emotional level. They love you very dearly. They may not be able to express that in the most articulate way as far as, from a verbal point of view, but they certainly can show it on many different levels, and they can certainly allow you to feel it. I feel that this person will be on board about the idea of having a child, but they will want to do that in a way that gives them a degree of freedom as far as a family unit is concerned. They don't want to conform to traditional values, and I think that that's going to be really important for them. And a part of what you both need to do is get to a point of compromise about giving each other what each other wants based on what it is you're both wanting as a whole. So I think this is a positive direction. I just think you need to pull back a little bit and actually feel the love. I hope this reading has made some sense to you guys, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. It'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an eye out for those coming up in the future weeks. Take care. Thank you. Hi everyone, this is card number 5, and today's reading is how do they feel about you? So let's have a look and see what's going on. Welcome to your reading. We've got the cards on the table and we're ready to jump straight in at the deep end and see what's going on. Drawn here to the Star and the King of Cups. I feel these two cards are a start point to reflect on you. You're really head over heels on this person. You've been looking on at them, towards them for a considerable amount of time. I feel this is somebody that you know. This isn't some sort of flirtation. This is somebody who's moving in your circles, who's sort of around you on a fairly consistent basis. This could be a work colleague, a friend, could even be somebody's partner. But I feel that, you've really observed them quite intensely for some time, and your feelings towards them have really evolved quite maturely. You've fallen for this person. I think that you're a little bit uncomfortable about that. I think you feel very vulnerable about what that is, what it is that means. And I think that you're actually not telling them, because I don't think that they really know fully how it is that you feel. Interestingly, all that glitters, this is a card that is about masking things, and I think you've certainly masked your feelings quite successfully. I don't think you have let on to anybody about what it is that's going on here. Well, I say anybody, maybe you have let on to some people, but certainly not this person. But let's have a look more closely at them. And if I come over here to the Magician and the Ten of Swords, this is a very charismatic individual. They've got a very, very, very attractive energy. Wow, like very motivated, very leadership sort of energy, very self-starter, motivated individual, knows how to capture an audience, really stands out in the crowd. I mean, this is not somebody who is just, an average kind of person. For me, this feels like this is somebody who's a bit of eye candy, very attractive energy, very attractive looking, very very connected up as well, quite a spiritual person, very very positive, very up energy, but I don't feel that they've been in a good place. I think that they've been, my sense was that perhaps they've been in a relationship. They've certainly been in a situation where they've been very let down by somebody, and there's a strong sense of betrayal. The Ten of Swords is a card of defeat, being backstabbed, betrayed. It's a compromise of trust to the worst degree, really. And I think this person has had to move on from that. Is this a relationship? I felt that for many of you that this would have been a relationship. It could also be a situation with somebody where they felt very let down in a way where, in any case, they've got to sort of move on, recover themselves, but they're basically sort of, just getting on with it. And at the moment, it's all about them and trying to get themselves back on track in a way where they feel better about themselves. I come over here to the High Priestess and the Four of Cups. I feel that this person sees you. I feel that this is somebody who is very friendly with you. They have a relationship with you, but I would have said that this is more a friendship, or it could also be, it could be like an associate of some sorts, but at the same time, I feel that this is somebody who really likes you. They do really like you. They feel close enough to be able to share certain experiences with you. But at the same time, there's a vagueness about this as well. It's as though they're close, but they don't want to get too much closer. I think what I feel is that they see you more as a friend at this point in time. This is somebody, who really likes you, but they're also not ready for a relationship with somebody. The Four of Cups is a card of dissatisfaction. It's kind of pushing back a little bit, and the cards are all about emotions. I feel that, the emotional level for this person is not something they really want to develop or sort of grow into in terms of a relationship with at this time. The High Priestess is a card of the future, so it's all about what's going on for them in the future in terms of relationships. But I think the High Priestess is a card of uncertainty. There's a vagueness about it. It's about the veiled future, and I think that they're very uncertain about where things are going in the future for potential relationships. But I feel that I sort of feel that there's a real friendliness here. I think they're really fond of you. They really like you as a person. And they definitely have a relationship of some sorts with you, albeit more of a friendship. Now, I think for you, coming down here to the Four of Wands, you're really keen to get their attention in a way where they see you just for who you are without having to make it obvious that you really like them at an emotional level. I don't think you want to divulge how it is that you really feel at this particular time. I think perhaps you're also very sensitive to where they're at and what's going on for them. I think, but you know, with the Four of Wands, it's definitely a card of working really hard to get results, yeah. And I think for you, you have worked quite consistently over a period of time to really just be solidly there as a friend, as a colleague, as somebody who is just trying to kind of like, you know, just be, you know, really a part of their life in a way that's just very positive and, you know, not compromising in a way where you're trying to sort of, you know, put them into a situation where they feel uncomfortable. So I think you're very sensitive about how this is all sort of unfolding, but you're definitely there in a way where you also want to be noticed. I think you would really like for them to be able to see who it is that you really are, and I think you'd really like to get that reward of sort of, you know, for them to sort of, you know, to pick you out, you know, in a way where you know it kind of goes to the next step. And look, I feel, you know, in terms of where this is all rolling, if I come over here to the Fool and the Six of Wands, I feel that things are heading in a direction that over time, I would have said the next 6 months, that this person is going to really see you in a way where you do stand out. I think that, you know, the end result, the end game is that they will grow more fond of you in a way where they're prepared perhaps to take it to the next level in terms of maybe becoming more intimate with you. But I would have a word of warning here, because at the same time, I feel that this person is really also entering into a new beginning in their life in a way where they're rekindling themselves from a very difficult situation that's happened in the past with somebody. I felt mostly that this would be have been a previous relationship, and that's been quite catastrophic for them. And so for them, really what it's all about at the moment is just regaining their confidence and getting clear about what they want for the future. And if they make any kind of move at a sort of more intimate level, I feel that this is something that's going to be very much sort of in the moment, very inspirational, and really kind of just feeling it through from an intuitive point of view. But at the same time, I don't feel that this is somebody who's ready to commit at a deeper level. And given the contrast of how it is that you really feel, I think you're really invested in this person in a way where I feel like, you know, for a lot of you, this is really about love. You know, your feelings are very, very there at a mature kind of evolved level in terms of how you're invested in this person, and they just don't know that, you know. And the problem with all that glitters is that this is just a veneer. You know, you're not giving them the full story, and more importantly, you're not giving them the full story because you know very sensitively that this person is going through a really difficult time and that they are really uncertain. I think it's really important not to be something that you're not. You know, you're. I think, you know, can you be honest about how it is that you really feel? You can. Obviously, that would sort of jeopardize things, you know, at a sort of friendship or kind of, you know, I guess, you know, uncomfortable social level. But maybe you need to be honest with yourself about what is possible here, because all that glitters is not gold. And that's really the main aspect of what this particular card is about. And this person is, you know, look, a really charismatic, very charming individual who really does get people's attention. They stand out of the crowd. I can see why you're really attracted to them, but they're just not on that same level in terms of noticing you. And I don't feel that they have the capacity to be able to put those pieces together in a way where they feel either ready for a relationship, but also that they would see you in the same kind of light. I'm sort of just trying to say that very sensitively. And I think more importantly, it brings us over here to Seek, because this is a card that really asks us to take a step back from our desires around a relationship. You know, why are we attracting somebody who is not available, who is not invested in the same way? becoming engrossed in a relationship or wanting it, in such a way where, it becomes your heart's desire, you start to lose perspective of really what's going on at it. Not only, I guess, a sort of, heartfelt level in terms of the reciprocation from that other person not being able to give you what you want, but also from a universal level. What are the cues here? Where is the universe leading you? I think, in many ways, what you've done is you've focused in on this person because you genuinely really do love them or feel a lot for them. But full well within your heart that this is something that is distant and really doesn't pair up in a way that can realistically unfold. And I think you've got to be careful, because my sense is that it will head in a direction where they do notice you and do want to get intimate with you, and that they would be prepared to take it to some level with you. But I don't feel that they're ready to commit in any way. And I don't feel that they feel the same way about you in a way that would be sensitive to your feelings and the way you are already invested in them. And I think that could leave you to be very hurt as an individual. And I think Seek is a card that really asks us to take a step back and really step away from something. All that glitters is another thing that builds on that, another card that builds on that. Because it's also asking you to stay away, because it wants you to realign to that universal flow that something better is awaiting for you. And that might be really hard because you feel so strongly about this person. But you do have to remember that really the only thing that's holding this together in your mind or in your heart is a thin veneer of you masking it. Because if you were full out right at this moment, or even in the future, I don't feel that you're going to get a match here in terms of the person responding. But they definitely like you as a person. They feel very fond of you. But they see you as a friend, and I think they see you more as somebody who they can socialize with and be friends with in a way where they can share their experiences. But also, I think you're a support to them. I get a sense there that you are somebody who was perhaps a part of a small circle of people who knows this person and is supporting them through a very uncertain time. But I think you just need to be really careful here to look after yourself. Put yourself first here, in as much as be realistic about what it is that is achievable. I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, please feel free to leave some feedback down below. It'd be great to get your comments. Like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. Hit subscribe. Tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Now, if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse those that are already posted. And just remember, there's always new ones being posted each and every week. Take care. Thank you.